So I was chiming in on a phone call yesterday where an acquaintance was saying that he wanted to prospect for a major club. I'm not going to mention any names here, but let's just say it's a major diamond club that everyone would recognize. I asked a few questions. It was my wife's phone call. She asked a few questions, and we spent some time explaining to him why he should not, at least at this time, think about prospecting for a 1% MC. Now, I will tell you this, I don't have anything against clubs. I have friends that are in major clubs. I ride with clubs from time to time, associate with them, hang out with them. So this is not an anti-club video. But I will tell you, and I also don't claim to be an expert, but this is just my opinion based on my experiences, my conversations, and my observations. Hopefully nobody will come after me thinking this is an anti-club video, because it's not meant to be. But this is about a specific situation, and it may apply to some of you. So if you want to hear me ramble about it, keep on watching. The obvious first question would be to ask why. Why do you want to join a 1% MC? That turned into the lengthy part of the conversation. We won't get into that so much. That's not the focus of this video. And it's also kind of a personal answer. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. But again, it's personal, so who can say it's right or wrong? So my next question was, how long have you been riding? Didn't get the answer I wanted. He said, well, I've never really ridden, a beginner. Well, in my opinion, there's three types of riding. There's riding, just regular riding. Then there's group riding, where you ride with, a few people or more. And then there's club riding. Now, let me tell you, from somebody who's ridden in a pack through a city with a club, they ride with a purpose. They have somewhere to go. They have things to do, people to see. And they don't let anything stop them or slow them down. It is not for the faint of heart. I consider myself a pretty good rider. I'm also fairly aggressive when I ride. I like to ride fast and hard. And there was an amount of pucker factor even when I was riding with them. You have to know how to ride when you ride with them. They're not going to wait for you. They're gonna leave you behind. You're on your own. And you do that too many times. Get lost from the pack or whatever, and they're not going to want to ride with you. They're not going to want you to ride with them. I told him the better course of action would be to get some miles under your ass, ride on your own or with an experienced friend for a while, get used to the bike, get comfortable, then go ride with some other people, ride in groups. There are riding groups out there that are more suited for beginners to join the pack. They're more accommodating, I guess the word would be. And then when you're really comfortable, then you can try riding with a pack. Hang around for a little bit, check it out, go to some events, go to some bike nights, some poker runs with them, whatever. I've seen some pretty confident riders decide when going on a run with a club, and after a couple of stops, they were like, "This just isn't for me. I don't wish to ride like this." And you got to respect that. Like I said, some people are built for it, some people aren't. But if you're not used to riding and used to riding hard, you're going to hurt somebody, you're going to hurt yourself, or you're just going to get left behind. Either way, it does not sound like fun to me. Therefore, I would suggest Get some miles in the saddle before you attempt to ride with some of the most hardcore riders that I've ridden with anyways. The next question that was asked by my wife was, are you ready to be somebody's bitch for the next year, 2 years, however long it takes in their individual prospect process? And I corrected her and I said, no, are you ready to be everybody's bitch for that period of time? How much is that bottom rocker worth to you? Because they want to know, the club wants to know that you're willing to do anything and everything it takes to be part of their brotherhood. Part of the process is them figuring out how dedicated you are to your end goal. And it's not always fun. If they call you at 3 o'clock in the morning and say be somewhere, you better be there. If they say this needs to be done, doesn't matter what you think about it, you don't question, you just do. Are you prepared for that? Again, there is an end goal, and if you feel that goal is worth it, then more power to you. Show your stuff, get her done. But if you're not built for that, that's going to be a really rough time on you. And speaking of rough times, do you have a family? Do you have an old lady, a wife, kids? In my experience, I've seen that most of my friends that are in hardcore clubs acquired their wife, old lady, whatever they call her, after the patch. When you wear that patch is your priority. That's all that counts. I don't know a whole lot of women that are okay with not being number one on the man's priority list. You gotta have, I keep saying, are you built for this? Well, your woman's gotta be built for it too. I hate to use the word, but civilian women, I kind of liken it to being in the military. A lot of people will tell you, you don't get married just before you go in the army, just before you enlist. You get that out of the way first, and then you meet somebody who's familiar with military life, and you guys can be compatible. Well, I feel like it's the same way in the club life. If you're asking to go on this journey and you're in a relationship, you need to evaluate whether your significant other wants to be on this journey as well. Now, if you have a woman that'll go through that with you and hang with you till the end, congratulations, that's awesome. I wish that for anybody in that position. But it's kind of rare. I don't see it happening all the time. So then, the biggest question of them all, we come back to why. What is your motivation? Why do you want to do this? Hollywood has glamorized the biker culture, the club culture, SOA, we got Mayans, we got the new Bike Riders movie out, and then we get people that are enamored by what they see on the screen, but they have really no clue on what it actually is about. That's why clubs have the hang around, because you have to ask yourself, are you built for it? It's a huge deal. It's not just something you jump into lightly, and if you do, are you ready for finding out that you're not actually built for it and failing, and the pain that comes with that failure? That's why, again, my advice is take the steps, baby steps, especially when you're a newbie on a bike, period. I understand wanting to be part of something. I'm not going to lie, the Brotherhood is really appealing, but there's a whole lot more to it than just what you see on an episode of a TV series. So anyways, that's my thoughts. I'm going to wrap this up. That probably went a little longer than I expected to, but hopefully you found it entertaining, maybe educational, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not claiming to teach anybody anything. I'm just rambling on about my own opinion. If you disagree or agree or have any opinion on it whatsoever, your own opinion, tell me in the comments. I appreciate feedback. In the meantime, just enjoy your bike any way, shape, or form that you can. Ride by yourself, ride with other people. Just don't ever forget that motorcycling is about enjoying the ride. Don't ever forget the pure, basic happiness of being on two wheels with the wind in your face. Do what you love. If you don't love it, then what's the point? Thanks for watching.